Alright, chapter review. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Chapter number 76, Demon Lords and True Dragons. Now this chapter do not have a lot of action in it. But we get a few Easter egg characters in this chapter. And one of them is Frost Dragon Veltsar. Lord have mercy! Let me tell you something about her. She is the epitome of sexiness. My type of woman, I would prefer an older woman. And this one right here, her design is pretty freaking awesome because even though she looks younger, she gives you that mature vibe. I mean, I could spend all day talking about her on this video, but I'm not. I promise you, I'm not. So let's start this review and then I'm going to come back to her. Sorry, people. I love this woman. Like in my last video, spoilers at the end for all my light novel readers and people that are just curious about upcoming events. So this chapter pretty much starts off ending the monster and man summit. But one of the things that draws my attention to this is Valdora. Valdora is freaking hilarious. I love his character. He just does what he wants, whatever interests him, minding his own business, doing what most of us do, which is read mangas and light novels all day. Maybe that's why I like his character so much, because it reminds me of myself. Alright, so who will Rimuru take with him to the Walpurgis? Can you guess? Shouts out to anybody who can guess the two people he's taking with him to this Walpurgis. Put it down in my comments. Then you have bragging rights. I might even give you a shout out in my next video if you get it right. Now, for anybody that met Millen, they know she's just a tyrant. And that's what everybody here is worried about. Millen right now is with Claimant. That's the whole problem here with this situation here. They know nobody in Tempest can mess with Millen except for Valdora. Millen's power is just too insane. Even Rimuru, who evolved into a demon lord, still don't know whether or not he can take on Millen. So I'm going to give you a quick history about Millen, Guy, and the Fairy Queens that was missed out at this point in time. I mean, it's in the light novel at this point, but I'm not sure if they're going to explain this to you later. But I think this is very important. Remember back when Xian had died and Rimuru was in despair. And Ellen was telling Rimuru on situations where people was able to come back from the dead. And in one of those stories, she was telling him about a little girl and her pet dragon. And a certain stupid kingdom decided to kill this little girl pet dragon. That managed to piss this little girl off and she wiped out that kingdom off the planet. Well, that's not the end of the story. That little girl did not stop there. She went on a complete rampage and it got the attention of Guy Crimson. Guy and Millen start to fight and they fought for 7 days and 7 nights with no end in sight. And the only reason why they stopped fighting was because of the Fairy Queen. She used all her magical power to calm Millen down. And when I mean all her magical powers, I mean all of her magical powers. She lost all her powers trying to calm down Millen. That's why she's in this little pixie state as you see her now. And this is also why Guy is so protective of her too. As you can tell from the conversations he had with Leon. Claimant and Millen is the main topic of this conference. However, Rimuru do have another reason to come to this Demon Lord conference. And that is to meet Leon Cromwell. I mean, remember back, Shizu wants Rimuru to punch him in the face. So he still owed that promise to her. I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I'm going to continue to say this every time I look at amazing art. And the artist for that time I got reincarnated as a slime do an amazing job. An amazing job. So Leon Cromwell looked exactly the way I pictured it in the light novel. He looked like a straight up pretty boy. I mean, it's got to be some kind of joke to have almost look like a girl. An ongoing anime joke. And to even back that up, he have Guy Crimson trying to give him a kiss. Actually in the light novel, it's stated that he gave him a kiss. I'm not sure if that's what they're implying in this little scene right here. I mean, come on now, he looks just like a freaking girl to me. So the reason why Leon is here to meet Guy is because Guy wants Leon to show up to this version of the Walpurgis. So here are some pieces you're missing from the light novel. And they did explain this at this point in time in a light novel. So I'm not going into future events, neither is this spoilers. I think they're outright taking this out. 2 things that you're missing here. One of the pieces that you are missing is why are you only allowed to have 2 people come with you to the Walpurgis? Well, because in the past, some of the Demon Lord would bring their entourage to the Walpurgis to show their prestige. Well, you can imagine what happened next. Shit hit the fan. And demon lords that are having a bad day decide to take it out on one another. And of course it end up with some demon lords dying. So now you are only allowed to bring 2 people with you to the Wilpurgis. The other thing that was missed out in the light novel is the reason why Guy called Leon over. So most times the demon lord themselves will not show up to the Wilpurgis. They will send a representative out in their place. However, this time is a special event because now Rimuru is going to show up to the Wilpurgis event. We also get a lot of great power scaling here too. Leon, an ex-hero, someone who wiped out Kazurim and his army all by himself, says that if Millen was to come to his territory would be blown away just like the Beast Kings. I mean, he just pretty much admitted that he cannot do anything against Millen. And probably the only people that can touch them are probably the true dragon. And now Frost Dragon Veltsar appeared. Oh my gosh, she is so freaking fine to me. She's probably my top 5 as far as waifu people, so from her name you can discern what her power is. Let's break down the dragons. I did this in my Valdora video, but let's break them down right quick. So you have the oldest dragon, Dark King Dragon Veldanava. Then she comes next, Frost Dragon Veltsar. Then up under her you have Scorched Dragon Valgora. Then the baby boy, which is Storm Dragon Valdora. But this also shows you how smart Leon is, the ex-hero. He was able to put together the relationship between Rimuru and Valdora with just little information he gathered. In fact, there are only a few people who can undo the infinite prison. Guy and Veltsar could have undone that infinite prison anytime they wanted to, but they decided to keep his butt in there to teach him a lesson. They was going to undo the seal right before he vanished, but they thought they miscalculated and he vanished way before the allotted time. So now with Leon hypothesis, this is telling Guy how much power Rimuru has now. He will have to be at least on the level of a true demon lord to undo that seal. And if he undid that seal, and Valdora, not only did he not rampage, he is listening to Rimuru, which means that Valdora is on Rimuru's side. Claiming do not have anything that can deal with those two. And Millen is just a toss-up. You can't count on her. He can barely even control her at this point in time. Okay people, spoiler from this time on. So, the 2 maids back there, they're very important characters. Just for leveling purposes or power scaling purposes, Leon is closer to those 2 maids level than he is Guy's. He said as much too in the light novel. So those 2 maids, their name is Rain and Misery. Forgive my Japanese translation, but it's something along those lines. Those 2 are demons. In my other video, I was explaining to you about how some of the more powerful demons, they have a color that associates with them. Diablo color is black. This person, Guy, his color is red. And these 2 girls, I mean, I don't know which is which because this is not in color. But these 2 girls are, I believe, is green and blue. Alright people, that's it for this video. It's getting kind of long, so hope you like and subscribe. Deuces.